two stitches in knitting. There's the knit stitch and the purl stitch. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do the knit stitch. When a piece of fabric is knitted on every row on straight needles, this is what you have. This is also referred to as garter stitch. So if a pattern tells you continue in garter stitch for 3 inches, all that means is knit every row. So I have a pair of circular needles here, and I'm going to use them just like I would my straight needles. And I have my yarn. The first thing I need to do is make a slip knot. And I do have a video showing a little bit slower how to make a slip knot, as well as how to cast on your stitches. I'm going to show you the long tail cast on method, which is the method that I use with the students in my classes. So you're just going up through the loop on your thumb, you're grabbing the one on your index finger, releasing your thumb, and tightening. So this is the long tail method. Casting on. There are many other ways you can cast on your stitches to your knitting needles. This is just the one that I use most often. And when I'm teaching, I always cast on 10 stitches. That's easiest for me to remember. So when I'm walking around checking everybody's work to make sure everybody's doing okay, I know how many stitches they're supposed to have. So if they've lost one or gained one, I can see that quickly. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and 10. So now that I have my cast on stitches, I'm going to place this needle in my left hand. Now my stitches, these little bumps, are going to be parallel to the ground. And I'm going to pick up the other needle. Actually, before I do that, I want to wrap my yarn through my fingers. So it goes over my pinky, under my 2 middle fingers, and over my index finger. And that helps me to control the tension of my yarn. So now that I have that, this is the knit stitch, and I'm going to share a rhyme with you. Knits in through the front door, around the back, out through the window, and off jumps Jack. So we're just inserting the needle into that next stitch. The needle's at the back, and those needles make an X. My working yarn, the yarn that's attached to my ball, is going to be wrapped counterclockwise around that back needle, goes in between those 2 needles, and then I take that right needle and push that piece of yarn down through that loop, under and out. I use my right needle to push the existing stitch off. And that is the knit stitch. Just keep doing the same thing across the row, working each stitch. And I am using the English method of knitting, which means that I hold the yarn in my right hand and throw it around the needle. So now I simply put the needle that has the stitches on it in my left hand to begin the second row of knitting. And if I were to keep working back and forth on this needle, as I did here, those rows would just continue to grow. My piece would continue to get longer and longer each time I created a new row of knitting. So I hope this has helped you.